Yes, it is that time again. Wherever you're watching this, I hope you guys enjoy. Podcast number 3 of Exploring the Spectrum is going to be coming up in a couple of minutes. I do appreciate it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel AU_Kingslayer. As always, if you're new around here, don't forget to hit the big red button. As always, subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment, as always, because I'm always reading that comment section down below to find out what you guys thought of my podcast. In today's podcast, we are talking about the one and only thing on exploring the spectrum today. The reason why we're talking about this topic, what is anger today, exploring the spectrum. The reason why I want to talk about that because every disability out there, I could be wrong. Say in the comment section if I could be wrong. My disability, because we're talking about my disability and exploring my spectrum of some sort. We are talking about anger today because my past has not been the best because I've always had anger there to kind of be like if I've done something wrong or because of my disability, because of my learning disability, anger's in my disability as well. So it kind of gets to me some days. Excuse me, it gets to me some days because if I do something wrong or get angry or do something, there's always going to be that afterwards where I'm kind of like, oh shit, I stuffed up. I shouldn't have done that, and I got angry over that situation. So I get angry like each. I can say that I get angry each day, and like it's not good enough. Like when you're having a go at someone, it could be different about like going on a workforce or something like that. And if I ever go, I don't have the coronavirus. If I go in the workforce and have a go at someone, like it's they're gonna, I'm not gonna expect me to have a go at them and then them not have a go at me back. They're always whoever's gonna piss you off, they're always gonna retaliate back to you. To be honest, so if I have a go at someone at my workforce job or wherever I go, and I have a go at them, in my brain I'm thinking, okay, he's not going to have a go at me. But on the workforce, it's going to happen. So there's always going to be that one dickhead on the workforce. I don't know. It's probably happening now to people, to be honest. It's a bloody hot day, to be honest, to do a podcast. And, like, you're always going to get that one person on your job site. It doesn't matter where you work, any job you go to, you're always going to have that one dickhead. Like on the workforce, or you do like a business job, inside, like you work inside instead of working outside, like on a construction site or something like that. So you kind of get like a comparison of kind of like wherever you basically go, you're always going to get that one ticket. And I can give you an example to be honest, because I was doing a little bit of cash in hand, and this guy at the time, mum was detailing cars for that person who I was getting paid. And I had to go up there every day. I think it was like for a week or so, like a couple of weeks. And I went up there and I was kind of like, hey, what kind of stuff are you going to get me doing and stuff? Wanted me to put the beams up and stuff like that. And there was this one dickhead there. I'm not going to name and shame that person, but I don't want to do that because that's not in my personality to kind of do that. But he was just being arrogant, he was being rude, he was being nasty, and like back to what we said about working on a job site, you're always going to get that one dickhead. He was that one dickhead, and like after my first day, I didn't even want to go back. But I was getting paid like I think I got like heaps of money at the end. I don't know how much it was, but I got a couple $100 at the end for the week that I was helping him out build his house and stuff. And like you see a comparison there. So like what I just brought up to like someone else doing like a work job inside. If you guys get me in the comment section, you guys like if you're doing like paperwork and then like 1 minute some dickhead comes over to you and says, "Oh shit, you got more paperwork." Like if you have a go at him, as I said, they're gonna have a go at you back. So, and then in the long haul, you're fired if you fuck up. You're like if you fuck up, I do apologise if any younger age viewers are watching this, but I do apologise. We're dropping a couple of F-bombs this evening. There's always going to be those. You're always going to get that one dickhead. So if you guys have any experiences down below, this is not the end of the podcast, but we're halfway through it. If you guys have any bad experiences or that one dickhead on the job site, I want to ask you guys who's watching this afterwards. Have you guys had that one dickhead on your workforce, work placement, wherever you went to go for your job, or you're still doing that job and that dickhead's still there? Don't forget to comment all that down below. I'll read it out. I'll have a discussion about it and stuff like that. Because for me, anger's a big part of my life. Because I get angry, I get pissed off at mum if I do something wrong, or mum gets pissed off at me if I do something wrong, and then I get pissed off back at her. So it's vice versa. So when I have a go at mum, it comes back to me. And it's like bouncing off people. So like, as an example, bouncing ideas off each other. I'm having a go at mum. It's going to be continuous back and forth. That's what it is, basically. So, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, when off topic, this podcast is always off topic. When I was in school, like, there's a couple more examples, to be honest. Like, when I was in school, we had advisors, what were teachers, but because I went to a special school, as I explained in the first podcast and the second podcast, we didn't call them teachers, we called them advisors, and we called them by their actual surnames and using that. I don't even know what I'm speaking. But we called them by their first name. And when it was like the next year or the year after or the year before, we used to always get like a new teacher. But for the first couple of years when I was going to that school, I'm not going to say what school it is, but when I was going to that school, when I went to high school, for my first couple of years, we had the same teacher for like 2 years or something, 3 years or something, 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, something around there. And then we got a teacher change, and then I was kind of like adjusting with what kind of, because I didn't adjust right in school. Like, so if we get a new advisor, I would hate the new advisor. So like, it was like when we got our new advisor it was like last year or the year before. I'm not going to say which year because I'll fucking I can't remember, but I still remember getting the last teacher that I had before I left school. I had an absolute, I'm not going to bloody ever tell a name and shit like that, but I actually absolutely hated it at first. Like, for a couple terms, it took me a couple terms to digest everything that was going around me. Like, we had new students coming in, we had new advisors coming in, we had new people coming in different days and stuff like that. I even hated science at one stage. I hated that. I used to abuse the deputy principal because I hated science. That's off topic, but when we had that new teacher, advisor, I just absolutely just ripped it apart. I had a go at her. I said, "Oh, you're doing this wrong. You shouldn't be a teacher," and stuff like that. I said teacher. We called it advisors, but I said to her teacher because like she's a teacher. And I hated going in there every day. And then it took me a couple of terms to kind of to digest everything and kind of I don't know if that's the actual correct word. Digest everything. But yeah, it took me a couple of terms to kind of get to know her a little bit, and I kind of like after a couple of terms. So when I was at school, it took me heaps to digest whatever the word is. Comment down the actual word down below. Yeah, it took me a couple of times to kind of be like, hey, wake up and smell the actual roses, all the sunshine, and listen to yourself. Because I used to always have a go. Also, I used to always have a go at what do they call those teachers? Filling in teachers, like the so if your normal teacher was sick, you'd have like a teacher come in. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like a fill-in teacher also. And I used to hate fill-in teachers because that used to be one of the big things that used to piss me off. We'll extend this podcast a little bit more. Because we normally stop around like the 10 minute mark. Yeah, I used to hate the fill-in teachers because they used to always be dickheads. So like, if your main teacher left you heaps of work to do, oh Matthew, you're doing this today. It'd be done in a couple of hours. What am I supposed to do next? I could go up to that teacher, the fill-in teacher, and be like, I've done that. Anything else? I don't know. I have to check. So that fill-in teacher would be emailing my actual teacher on her lunch breaks. Because I had a female teacher. So yeah. It's kind of surprising how like in the world that we are living in today, everyone gets angry, and like my message to end this podcast off. If you are angry, like because you're always going to get angry, it doesn't matter where you go. If you go down to the shops, oh shit, the meat's not there because it's coronavirus. What is the better solution to kind of be like, shit, there's no meat down here because I'm using the coronavirus because the coronavirus is the actual virus, what's happening around the country, everyone's country. So it's actually, here's a better example. We have no meat down there. This is the example, sorry. There's no meat down there because of the coronavirus. You buy something else. There's a solution fixed. Easy claps. GG's in the chat. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm smart, using big brain. But yeah, you need to think out the box. Like if something's not down at the shops or something's not right, you fix it or do another solution to change that thing you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. There's like a billion solutions in it. So if I fuck up on a test, am I going to fuck up on the next test? No, I'm not going to fuck up on the next test because I fucked up on the first test. So see, there's a comparison there, and this is the end of the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget, if you guys are new around here, don't forget to hit that big red button, subscribe. If you guys have got to the end of this podcast, as always, don't forget to leave it a like and a thumbs up, as always. And I will see you guys in the next one. That kind of took heaps out of me to talk about because I've got a lot of anger issues, and it was kind of cool to just sit down and talk some shit about anger issues. So, I do appreciate it if you got to the end of the video. Don't forget to leave it a thumbs up and a comment down below, as always. And if you're new around here, subscribe. Hit that big red button, as always. It kind of makes me cry in a way because I've been like, these are free podcasts because this is the third podcast. So the first podcast we were talking about school life. Second podcast we were talking about after school life / school life. And anger to end it off like and podcast 3 off. So yeah. As always, don't forget to put a comment down in the comment section as always, and I will see you guys in the next podcast. That will be next Friday, because I upload a podcast to my YouTube channel every Friday. And don't forget to check this one out. As always, I've been Matt Bennett. This has been Exploring the Spectrum. And the topic today is anger. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.